Welcome to another JSWIFT tutorial. In this session, we will be looking at how to store and how to retrieve a stored application. Now, traders may want to store an application for several reasons. One, it could be that in an organization you have multiple persons responsible for acting on a document, one prepare and one submit. There are also cases where the trader is not yet ready to submit the application, so an option would be to store. A third reason is that there are times when the trader is preparing a large application with multiple item lines and the trader wants to complete some today, or they're in the middle of completing the application and they want to store and then return to the application at a later date. Now, the store feature on the application allows you to do just that, to store the application and then revisit the application at a future date to complete. Now, when you're storing an application, the system can automatically give a reference to that application in order to allow it to be stored. However, on the general information page, there is an application reference feature that allows you to give this application a name and then store it. However, if you do not assign a name or reference number or reference word to the application, then the system will automatically fill in these details. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to use a sample reference name so that we can look at it later on and see what happens. So I'm going to use the word sample, or I could have used the invoice number to reference the application. So whatever you choose to use is fine. You should just ensure that you enter some details that you're able to recall if needed. So I'm going to use some alphanumeric references. So I will use both letters and I'm going to use numbers just to show you that you can use either numbers or letters. I will go back to my last page. You can click fees or you can click next. At the moment, I only have one item attached, and please note you can only store once you have an item attached to the page. So the system will not allow you to store an application without any details. At least one item must be added to the page. So these are our checks. We are going to go next to the fees page, which is the last page on the application, and we're going to select the option store. Now please observe, now that I've stored the application, if you notice there is no registration number because I did not register the application. What you're actually looking at now is the reference that I had entered. If I did not enter a reference, then the system would autofill a random reference number so that there is some form of reference details associated with this document that is now stored to the system and not yet registered. So how do we find this stored document? So I'll clear the information from the page and show you how. We go to search, document type is permit, and you cannot enter anything in the registration slot. The reason is because the document is not yet registered, so you cannot use a permit reference or a registration reference to find a document that is not registered. So you will have to find another criteria option to use. But you can use the applicant feature. So we prepare the application in manufacturer plant products, and when we click search, it will show all the applications that are waiting for processing or that have been processed under that particular trader name. If you observe on the page, you will be seeing that we have documents at different statuses. We have documents that are stored, paid, and finalized. We're not seeing any on the query, but that is also a status that you may see. Now we're looking for a document that we have stored. If you did not register, you would not have any registration reference. So, and also if you did not remember to put a reference number, then you just need to use the status to guide you as to what it is that you're looking for. Now we're seeing stored. How do we retrieve the document for processing? If you click view, you'll only open the application in a view mode and it will not allow you to do any actions on the application. So we're going to select the option edit. When you select edit, it opens the document in an editable form and allows you to make changes. So we can make changes on the document. So we have our export details. We can make updates to that. We can go to item details. If we have to add another commodity, let's add something else. So we can make changes. Take out the plant. All right, so we search for product. So we can add commodities to the page. So I'm making a few updates. Just to show you that you're able to make changes. So we're making updates to the item details page. So in the event that you're doing an application, that is a very big application, multiple lines, you can always return to the application at a later date and make changes. All right, so we have gone through our application, done the necessary updates. We click to add. Now we have 2 items on our application. Then we go to next. No attachments required. Verification successful. Now, say for instance, I want to just delete the entire application. There's a delete option. What this will do, it will withdraw the application or delete it because it is not yet registered. We have submit stored. Now say that I'm now finished with the application and I want to submit. I can select submit stored and it will generate a registration reference in the same manner that what would have happened if we had selected submit at the initial point. Now we have a 4th button and it says modify stored. Now modify stored allows you to save the document once more. So what it will do, it will update the document with the new changes or updates that you have made, if any, and put it back in a stored state. But in this case, we want to submit stored. So we select submit stored. And if you notice at this point, the system will generate a registration reference in the same manner as it would have if you had gone through the entire declaration at one go. Now our reference number is 2022 PER 180. Let's save and look at this application. Refresh our search. Let's search once more. our sample application now registered. If we look at it, let's view the application, and you will see it. The updates are on the document. So now we have gone through how to update our application using the stored feature or the registered store feature, and this is our application. If you observed, when we searched for the application, we also saw a retrieve. Now, for some applications, especially for those that require payment, it will allow you to do editing on the application even after it is registered. Let's look at that once more. Permit. Now we have a registration reference. We can use it to search, and our application reference was 180. Let's click search. If you notice, it is the same application, and there's a retrieve button, and this retrieve will allow you to make changes to the application, right? Changes can only be made to the application before payment is made, and this only applies to applications that have a processing fee that must be paid prior to an officer accessing and processing the document. Thank you for watching our JSWIFT tutorial on how to store and retrieve a JSWIFT application. Thank you.